Hi, everybody. This is Amanda at A. Smith Gallery, and this is Kevin right here.
Hi there.
Right. And
I'm tired. I got to tell you that right now. So
we're in the process of moving. So yeah, we're perpetually tired. Anyway, tonight we are going to do portraits. It's a current exhibit that's up online, and we're going to do the gallery talk about portraits. Elizabeth Flinsch was our juror for portraits, and she selected 55 images. And Cameron's going to read a little bit about her bio.
Elizabeth is an artist, curator, and the editor of Shots magazine based in St. Paul, Minnesota. Shots is an independent print journal of black and white photography founded in 1986.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, and if you haven't joined or subscribed, I guess that's the right word, you definitely should do that. There's some really good work out there. And Doug Beasley is the publisher. And here's Elizabeth's juror statement for the exhibition.
In a portrait, I'm looking for the silence in somebody. That's a quote by Henri Cartier-Bresson. To make a portrait is an opportunity to pause long enough to really see someone. When I make a portrait, I see it as a collaborative act, not so different from a dance. In that dance, the connection between photographer and subject stirs that silence on both sides of the lens. Within these pages, you will find portraits that hold that magic. Whether pain or joy or something more mysterious, these pictures speak of finding the silence and elongating a moment of authentic connection. The portrait I've selected range from the distorted abstraction in Merete Lien, I think that's how you say that name? Merete Lien?
I think that's pretty close.
Merete Lien's image JoJo to the vulnerable realness of Whitney Defoe's Becoming Wheelchair Bound. These pictures speak to the depth of human emotion as well as portrayals of beauty, defying traditional definitions as in Nancy Helm's Moonchild and Heather Doty's Blow Me a Kiss. Each portrait reveals a resounding call to show up as our whole selves in whatever mood or form that may take. I would like to thank Amanda Smith and Kevin Tully for the tireless work required to hold, and we are tired, to hold together A. Smith Gallery and its outstanding contribution to the international photographic dialogue. I don't know if I should have read that. It was kind of self-promotion.
No, that's okay.
All right.
Anyway, that is a really great statement, and we really thank you for writing.
That really was nice.
And thank you to everybody that entered. And yeah, so let's look at them.
Okay.
So we're going to share our screen.
Let's see here. Here we go.
There we go. All right.
All right.
Make that big.
Yeah, why is that doing that up there? Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. So the first image is by Alan Lader. Alan is from Evanston, Illinois. And the title of this is Memento, His Crown. Alan right now is in New Zealand.
Cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. And this is also, we selected this for the 27. Let's explain what the 27 is real quick.
Go right ahead.
So Elizabeth selects 55 images. And from those 55, Kevin and I select 27 that are going to go into the book that we create. And the book is, it's a fine art exhibition, limited edition book. And we include the 27 images along with statements by the juror and
the director.
The director. Yeah, that's who we are. Yeah. Anyway, it's really cool.
It is.
And this image is going to be in it.
We have one sitting around here somewhere.
We do. This image is by Helena. I'm sure I said that wrong. It is called The Garden. It is actually a silver gelatin lithe print. Elena is from Italy.
Nice.
That's why I'm sure I said that wrong. I'm not good with Italian. So the next image here is by Allison Plass. And Allison is from New York. And it is entitled Masquerade. I love that image. Okay, this one is by Angela Byers. It's entitled Seeing Through the Negatives. Angela is from Statesville, North Carolina, and this one is also in the 27. I just posted this to Instagram. It's getting tons of likes.
Nice.
Next, we have an image by Bonnie Blake. I've asked people if they wanted to send me information about their images, and Bonnie did send me a statement for this image. So I'm going to let Kevin read the statement.
During the early months of the pandemic, I sought role models that I had personally known who had survived challenging circumstances. I needed to remember those who maintained a generous heart despite their personal losses. I roamed around the house looking at all the beautiful objects that had once belonged to my grandmother, Signe Peterson Blake. She was a young graduate of Lowell General Hospital in 1918 and worked as a visiting nurse during that pandemic. I contemplated what she endured as she helped patients in their homes during such a frightening time. She had the courage She had the courage to endanger her own health in order to help others. Then I reflect on the other challenges she had faced, such as starting a business during the Depression. Her oldest son was killed during World War II, and her only other child, my father, died at the age of 39. Despite these events, she encouraged me to be strong, studious, and seek adventures. She supported my dreams of travel and going to college. I gathered some of her mementos and went outside in my backyard to take her portrait. I remembered seeing celebrations of Persian Spring when families put mirrors on their tables and under trees to encourage self-reflection. Photographing these still lives became an act of affirmation. I too could survive these challenging times through connecting to the past and creating something beautiful to share with others. Very nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. So Bonnie is from North Hills, California, and the title of this image is Calling Back Her Spirit. That was lovely. Next, we have an image here by Bruce Martin. The title of this image is Prairie Man, David P. Bruce is from Bowen, Illinois, and we selected this image for the 27.
Bruce is really great at these portraits.
He is. Yeah, he really is. Next, we have an image by Charlotte Neal. It's entitled Looking Forward. We also selected this one for the 27. We're having a cat fight over our in the living room. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you can't hear it.
Well, now they know about it, whether they hear it or not.
Anyway, this is Charlotte's image, and I love this. I think this is really great what she did here.
It's a great concept.
Yeah. These are so cool. This is by Cindy Hansen. Cindy lives in Grafton, Wisconsin. We got to talk to Cindy, and this is Cindy. These are self-portraits. Two were selected. This particular one is called Beauty Queen, and we selected it for the 27 also.
But she has a whole series of these that are just wonderful.
Yeah.
You remember the subject, what her theme was?
Her theme?
She had a thing, I can't remember what it is now, but it was wonderful.
And this one is called Warrior Woman.
That's her also.
That is her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she went around her house and collected anything that was shiny and silver and made a drum set.
That's great.
Cindy has a good time. She kind of she started out, just taking pictures, like everybody starts out taking pictures. And then she saw something that made her think, I can put myself in these and I can really have a good time here.
Yeah.
And so she started creating all of these situations she put herself in.
They're really
they're a lot of fun. So this image is by Cynthia Morgan. Cynthia is from Atlanta, Georgia. And this is entitled Portraits of Innocence #3. And she did write a little bit right here, Kevin, about this image.
I have always been drawn to the paintings of the Dutch masters, Rembrandt, Vermeer, Bruegel. With this work, my attention is given to emulating brushstrokes, utilizing chiaroscuro, and creating images that portray an innocent yet somewhat disturbing sense of childlike fantasy. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's really good at that. So this image is by Dan Hornum. It's called Resting Skateboarder, Detroit. Dan is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The
Nice.
light on that is just
Yeah, the light's great.
sensational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice shot.
And here we have a series of 3 images by the same photographer. These are all by Dana Kim, and Dana wrote a little bit about her images too. You want to read that first, and then we'll scroll through them.
The 3 portraits are from my November 2022 trip to Cuba. I walked the streets and tried to talk and make connections with people. I wanted to understand Cuba today. My goal was to capture a connection I made with the folks I met. In my very poor Spanish, I enjoyed meeting the 3 people in the photographs: Cuban woman warming his songbirds, and cobbler.
So this particular one is called Cobbler. You might have guessed that already. And this is the Cuban woman. But who is that on her t-shirt? On her shirt.
What was it?
Right there.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Makes the shot though. And this is the what's it called? Warming his songbirds.
There they are.
There they are.
That's great.
That's a great image. Dana is from Mercer Island, Washington. And I bet she's cold tonight. So this image is by Dorsey Berg. Dorsey is from Joliet, Illinois. Would you like to read this about this image?
Darcy Berg has been an amateur photographer in the Chicago area for many years. She loves to use software to enhance her images. This image is a composite of a self-portrait in a prairie field next to her home. To do work like this requires an open mind and constant updating of her techniques. Her mother loves this image.
I love that, Darcy. I think that's great. Thank you so much. This image is by David Court. David lives in Florida. We're in Florida, in Naples, Florida. We selected this for the 27, and the title of this image is Asha, Monrovia, Liberia.
Nice shot.
It is a beautiful shot. Great light on it too. So this is by Diane Cockrell. This is actually her grandson, and that's the title of the image. She wrote a little bit about that too.
My great-grandson, Co,
Great-grandson,
was treated with a luau to celebrate his 2nd birthday. Lucky kid. The henna tattoo represented growth, adaptability, and resilience, and he was dressed in a traditional Hawaiian hula outfit. That's great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Yeah, Diane's from San Pedro, California.
I like that tattoo.
I do tell you, yeah. So this image is by Diane Finster.
This is our old friend Miles.
This is her husband, Miles. Diane's from Pacifica, California. We selected this for the 27. And the title of it is how do you say that? Pyrexia,
Orexia, yeah.
which means fever, I think.
I don't have
I
any
think it
idea.
does. Anyway, that's a great image.
Miles has been in the gallery numerous times.
He has. He really has. This image is actually the only animal image of this whole exhibit. And it's really a beautiful little bird. It's called Untitled number 6. Do you know what kind of bird that is?
I have no idea. It looks like a woodpecker, but I know it isn't.
I don't know. This is by Dwayne A. Bonds II. Dwayne lives in Buford, Georgia.
All right.
Great light on it too. This one is by Ellen Freelander. Ellen is from somewhere in California, Los Angeles. And this is Roliance. I'm going to just guess that's how you say that name. Roliance. Anyway, she wrote something about it. It's a little bitty print. I hope you can read that.
Yep. People are beautiful, emotional, and mysterious. I've always been fascinated by how uniquely different we all are. And this is what has drawn me to portraiture. In 2020, I began using a digital pinhole lensless body cap. Since then, I have continued to explore what it means to paint with light. The pinhole effect is ethereal, moody, and raw. The process is slow and very intentional, requiring an equal exchange of patience and vulnerability between the photographer and the subject. This past November, I was working in my home studio and reached out to family and friends for help. I needed to get comfortable with the natural light and pinhole lens. I had no idea where this would lead. Rollins was one of the first few friends to message me and say he would be game to play. The magic that happened during our session was amazing. After seeing the images we created, I understood so much more about the exchange of energy. The resulting portrait reveals an authenticity unparalleled to my previous exploration. The pinhole lens is a tool to unlock what hides behind our external facade. Interesting.
Yeah, it's really nice. We selected this to be part of the 27 too.
It looks like an image from the time of Mao in China.
Oh, you're right. It
Yeah,
does, doesn't
it's
it?
fascinating with the
Yeah.
hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
good job.
This image, let's go here, is by Heather Doty. Heather is from, wait, I'll find it. She's from Canada, from Keene, Ontario, Canada. The title of this is Blow Me a Kiss, and it is part of the 27 also. I love that image.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah. This is just stunningly beautiful. This is by Inga Makiva, and I probably said that wrong too. She is from Belarus, and we selected this as part of the 27. I don't know that we've ever had anyone from Belarus.
Belarus is in a kind of a tight spot right now. We hope that all works out.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. This image was selected for the Jurors Award. This is by Jeremiah Dine, and the title of this is Anne Marie Head, 1990, and it is part of the 27. Jeremiah lives in Hastings on Hudson, New York. Love those eyes are really beautiful. This image and the next two actually are by the next one after this, I'm sorry, are by John Walmsley. John is from the UK. Let's see, where in the UK? Guildford, Surrey, UK. And you can probably tell this was taken a few years ago. The title of this one is Three Kids Dunkeen, and he wrote a little bit about both of these images. You want to read them, Kevin? Here's the first one.
Three Kids Dunkeen, taken when I was at school in 1967. A friend and I were hitching around Southern Ireland and had pitched our tent in a field in Dunkeen. Next morning, I wandered around the small, mostly farming village, and these three kids came out to talk. I shouted as they stood and gave no directions about where to stand. I'm in touch with the girl's brother who still lives there. Wow, that's great. Look at those eyes.
Yeah. Well, Dunkeen is on the Dingle Peninsula. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It is, and I kind of think I've been there before.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
But I would like to go.
Anywhere in Ireland's a great place to be. But yeah. Anyway, we selected this for part of the 27, and the next one is Vanessa. That's Vanessa Redgrave. Vanessa Redgrave and Tariq Ali lead anti-war demo in 1968.
Oh, wow.
I remember that year.
Wow.
You want to read about that one?
Great historical image. Vanessa Redgrave and Tariq Ali, also taken when I was at art school. I hitched into London to photograph the big demonstration against the Vietnam War. It was led by Vanessa Redgrave, actor, and Tariq Ali, student activist, later writer and TV producer. She's holding the letter to be given to the U.S. ambassador. Just to the left of Ali's neck, you can just glimpse a small part of the face of a young Richard Branson. Wow. A print is in the permanent collection of the National Portrait Gallery, London. Well, that's wonderful.
Isn't that cool?
Where's Richard Branson? What does it say?
Over his shoulder?
Just to the left. Oh, right here, I guess.
Oh, is that okay?
Or it could be here, but that doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Thank you, John. That's really great. So this is by Judy Arini. Judy lives in California somewhere. Let's see where. In San Francisco, California. This is part of the 27, and the title of this is Untitled 2. It's just a beautiful diptych.
It's really interesting. The references that this make are a little disturbing, but it's just, it works.
Yeah, it works really well.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So the next couple of images here by Ken Lorenz. Ken Lorenz is from Canada. Let's see, where in Canada? Langley, British Columbia. This particular image is called Desert Pieces Wheels. And we talked to Ken.
These are shot on that place called The Slab out somewhere in the desert in California, I think, right?
Yes.
And these are just people that have shunned
society
and moved out into the desert and lived off the grid. And obviously, there's some very interesting folks.
He's gotten to be friends with them, and
Yeah.
he's gone out and shot them
Yeah.
numerous times. And this particular one we selected for the 27 is called Transient. I think he saw this guy like outside of a convenience store or something. He wasn't part of the slab. I think it's a different.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Thank you, Ken. The next couple of images are by Laurel Anderson. Laurel is from San Francisco, California. This one is entitled Conrad's Music.
Nice shot.
It's a very nice shot.
Like the lips right there.
And the black eyed peas.
Yeah.
And this particular one we selected for the 27. This is called Vanity.
I really like this because it's a very creative take on a portrait.
Mm. It is.
It's this cultural item here that makes it, yeah, nice.
Yeah. This is an image by Lawrence Manning. It's called Reality. Lawrence is from Napa, Idaho, and this is part of the 27.
That's a nice shot.
It's a little different for Lawrence, but yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, good use of a mirror. So the next couple of images are by Leah McDonald. Leah wrote a little statement here. She is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to let you read her statement.
Lost Light Love celebrates photographer Leah McDonald's artistic legacy encompassing 30 years of analog photography, master printing, and emotive portraiture. Inspired by the female figure and the challenges women face, McDonald's work is emotionally charged, visually dynamic, and intensely personal. To create each image, McDonald collaborated with women who could relate to her own struggles while being brave enough to bear their own. In conversation, the collection of portraits conveys a depth of emotion, self-awareness, and longing. To create her world, McDonald utilized the historical 4x5 view camera, Type 55 Polaroid film, and silver gelatin prints creating the traditional wet darkroom. McDonald's work was created in the heyday of black and white photography before digital made it obsolete as an industry standard. As the photography field changed, McDonald's work became all the more precious and unique. Additionally, rather than printing in editions, each photograph in Lost Light is created to be a one-of-a-kind monoprint, a singular glimpse into the complexity of power, femininity, and beauty. This body of work is a love letter to silver gelatin photography itself, while simultaneously honoring the stories and individuals illuminated by McDonald's lens.
So she's fixing to have a big exhibit of her work. And this is actually the statement from the curator of that exhibit. This particular image is called number 433.
Beautiful. She's only analog, right? She doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we selected this one for the 27. And this one is called number 554.
Great.
Obviously a Polaroid with all the little tear marks, and it didn't all make it, and you know, the flaws, and it's just fabulous. So this is by Leslie Nowlin Blessing. Leslie lives in Austin, just right down the road from us. Leslie is a twin, and she has a whole series where she's photographed twins. So these are twins. I mean, there's, you know what I mean. They're put together. So this is called Insight, Twin Elements. It's actually a platinum palladium print on vellum, gilded with copper. And we did select this for the 27.
Very nice, Leslie.
Yeah, we've seen this in real life, and it's beautiful. So this guy, this is the next two images are by Linda Hansen. Linda lives in Sisters, Oregon, and this particular one is called Luis Banales, Cuba, and she wrote a little bit about both of her image. No, maybe just this one. I'll let you read that.
Luis is a tobacco farmer in Banales, Cuba. Banales is about a half-day drive south of Havana. When we visited, he graciously opened his door to our small group. The harvest was past, so the barn was empty of tobacco. He was kind and gracious and allowed me to make this photo. It's great. I think I've had some beer with that fella.
Oh, with this guy?
Or maybe some rum.
Really?
Yeah, he looks real familiar.
Really? Well, this is a beautiful portrait.
Yeah.
The light is just fabulous. It's a great capture.
Yeah.
The little cows, or those aren't cows, sheep, whatever they are. Yeah, it's really
Sheep.
beautiful. Are they sheep?
I don't know what those are. Yeah, I think he was interesting.
Yeah. So this one is another image from Cuba. It's called Watching His Brother.
That's one of hers also.
It's
right?
one of hers
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Nice shot.
This is by Mark Apers. Mark lives in nowhere in the United States, in Belgium. And this is called Amused. Isn't that lovely?
It's a nice take on a portrait.
Yeah. So Marcia Lloyd, this is her image. She wrote a little bit about hers too, if you'd like to read that, Kevin.
As soon as I met Gwenda and her family, I was drawn to the idea of photographing her and her two teenage daughters, Rachel and Natalie, once a year. I wanted to explore the complex developmental challenges facing all of them at this time, redefining their relationships and reinventing their individual identities, as well as the accompanying sense of alienation. This photo of Natalie, age 11, was the first I took. I asked her to go up to her room and bring down something she had just recently stopped playing with. She came down holding the bear and sat on the sofa. Her body language says it all. Interesting.
So Marcia is from Brooklyn, New York, and the title of this is Natalie, age 11, from the series Mother Daughter. That's really
Kind
nice.
of hard to read exactly what Natalie's feeling there. I don't know. That's what makes the picture. We don't know what she's feeling.
Not totally. Okay. So the next two images are by the same photographer. This is Merete Lien. She lives in Norway. And this particular one is entitled JoJo.
Fascinating image.
It is. You want to look at it a lot and figure out what is going on here. And this particular image, we gave the Director's Award. And so it's also part of the 27. And the title of that is, I'm just going to say, I think in English it's probably Natalie, but what do you think that is?
Nataliaqua.
Yeah.
Aqua sounds like Natalie of the water.
Oh, maybe so. I hadn't thought of that. Good thinking, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Whatever. It's absolutely
That's
beautiful.
That's a pure guess.
Yeah, this was our pick from the very
Yeah.
beginning for the Director's Award.
It's gorgeous.
It's just wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And the next two images are by Nancy Helmuth. Nancy is from Salem, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to let Kevin read her statement. If I can get this to let go. Oh, here we go.
I've always seen the world in pictures, dabbling in photography on and off during my life. However, my real journey with photography began with the purchase of my first DSLR and a determination to learn to use it to produce images I wanted. Photography has allowed me to explore, express, and share the creative essence of who I am, a process both frightening and freeing. It is my intention to capture the wonder that is all around us, the mundane and the curious, the beautiful and the unsettling. Tell a story, evoke an emotion, ignite a thought, or start a conversation. The burden of war did not start out with to be a social statement, but evolved after seeing newsreels of recent wars and realizing the message I was conveying was that the burden of war is on the heads of our children. Fluidity is a piece close to my heart as a mother and grandmother to members of the LGBTQ community. It shows the beauty and strength of those who identify this way. That LGBTQ people are just that, people.
So this image is fluidity that Kevin
Is
was
there more
just
than
reading
one?
about. Yes, there is another one.
There's
And
just a softness to that that's really nice.
and this is the burden of war.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's pretty charged.
Yeah.
Good job.
Love his eyes. I mean, you got to smile when you see this. So this image is by Natalie Faye Green.
I had an aunt used to end up like that every Thanksgiving.
Kevin. And Natalie is from Potomac, Maryland, and this is called Bored. So Natalie photographs her children. She's had numerous images in our gallery over the years. Yeah, and this is her little girl.
That's great.
She's bored.
Yeah.
That's a great image, Natalie. I love this one too. I think I had both of those purses at some point in my life. This is by Pamela. Oh boy, where'd he go? Pamela Zarimba, and Pamela is from Westport, Connecticut, and she wrote about this. This is really interesting. The title of this is Pregnant Pause, so this will make sense for you.
This is Boomerang. What was Boomerang?
Well, just read.
Okay. When you ignore history, it is doomed to repeat itself. This is the adage that has cautioned generations not to make the mistakes of the past. But like a cursed boomerang, inequality that we had seemingly progressed beyond comes back and strikes. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, it was as if the world suddenly jumped back 60 years. Our modern society is now threatened by the same fear and desperation that women felt before the historic ruling. This collection of images focuses on the experience of women in a time before Roe v. Wade looked like, whose lives and emotions can be reflected onto a growing portion of women in the modern day United States. As depicted in these images, young girls frequently were faced with no other choice but to carry on with their normal lives, burdened with secrets and struggling to know where they would end up next. In Boomerang, I depict this unique challenge that again rears its head to face women as it once did. Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. This is entitled Home Alone, and it's by Robert Dodge. Robert lives in Gainesville, Florida, and he did write a statement about this image, and it is part of the 27.
I was referring to the overturning of Roe v.
I
Wade.
know what you were talking about.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm developing Tourette's. Not sure. Okay.
What?
This image is from Home Alone, a short-term project pursued during COVID-19 about the effects of the pandemic on the mental and sexual health of gay men. The series focused on the effects of lockdown isolation on loneliness, depression, and sex-based risk-taking. In this photo, we see one of the subjects, Ark, along and homebound by the threat of COVID and the restrictions of a lockdown. Ark, an independent filmmaker, huddles in his bedroom, looking fearfully at what the disease might bring to him. Each of the four subjects in the series appears nude, symbolic of the way threats to everyone's health reduces us all to our basic self. Gone are job titles, wealth, and status. A virus, whether it be HIV or COVID, is non-judgmental and only seeks a suitable host. And like our subjects, we all emerge from this pandemic survivors of a series of risks and consequences. All the subjects of this series happily survived the pandemic. Ark is once again producing independent films in Bangkok, Thailand. Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful image.
And true. Yeah, it is a very nice image.
Okay. This image is by Robin Z. Boger. It's called Eggs for Easter. And Robin is from Newton, Massachusetts.
And Robin is a great photographer, but she's also just a fabulous writer, poet. And she typically writes a poem or a little piece to go with each.
Well, I'm sure
image.
she does, but we don't have it.
We
She
don't.
didn't send me that. She just went to Norway and
Norway,
looked at them.
that's right.
Yeah, she was busy. So the next three images are by Shane King. Shane lives in Los Angeles, California. And this particular image, the first one is called Riel. And we picked this for the 27. And this image is called Sorry in Red with Flowers.
I wish he would have written something.
I know he would. Do you want to tell them what
Well, I don't remember. This is all about the art of. It's a Japanese art of tie. It's a form of bondage, but not. It's not. It's not what you would typically associate with bondage.
But it's a Japanese rope tying.
Yeah, there's rope tying techniques. It's very, very interesting.
Which he did himself.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's about bondage.
It is about bondage.
It is about.
It's just a different. It's different.
A different interpretation.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this last one is called Self-Portrait with Plants.
I wish we had his.
He didn't write me anything.
What he told us about it.
So this image is by Stefan Nagu, and Stefan is from Romania. This particular image is entitled, I'll get it in a minute, Shelter. And he wrote a little statement about that, Kevin.
When I photograph, I look for shapes that stimulate aesthetically. I try through the play of lights and shadows to simplify, crystallizing different moods and emotions, and I look for elegance in every detail. Photographing in analog format and with cameras with exclusively manual adjustments, the connection to what is happening is total in the prolongation of the state from the moment of shooting through the chemical processes of development to the visualization of the final result confirms the statement that patience is a virtue. Being more interested in the suggestive character than descriptive one, photographs are a guide more than definitions or lessons. And even so, the whole act must be conscious, coherent, and concise, with no room for superficiality. Very nicely said.
Nicely done. Yeah. That's a beautiful image.
Yeah.
Great light. This image is by Stephanie Hanlon. It's entitled The View, and Stephanie is from Mapleton, Georgia. I would like to know what the view is. What do you think the view is there?
Yeah, that's what's interesting about the shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful image. This image is part of the 27 also. It's by Susan Pedersen Leiden. Susan lives in Woodside, California. And it's
gorgeous.
Just stunning.
Everything about it.
Yeah, the light's beautiful. Her dress is beautiful. Yeah. Her look is beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It looks like a frame out of an old movie.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where's Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is by Sylvie Redmond. It's untitled. It is part of the 27. Sylvie lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I mean, you got all kinds of questions to ask about this, but I really like this image.
I do too.
Yeah.
What's amazing is how well this all fits together.
It does. I mean, everything. Yeah, it's like
work.
Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it?
No.
Huh? No. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we got a couple more here.
Okay.
Yeah. This is by Warren Simmons. Warren lives in Montgomery, Alabama. We've met Warren, I think, at
Photo Fest?
No. Georgia.
Photo slow exposure.
Slow exposures. Yeah. Can't believe we forgot that. Anyway, this is Richard, his friend Richard, and he wrote a little statement about this.
This is a portrait of Richard, a good friend and neighbor. We'd been sitting on the porch talking for a while and noticed the way the light was playing on him. It was a surprising moment, totally unplanned. My camera, which is always with me, was already on the black and white setting, another serendipitous part of the image. I asked Richard to hold still and took the photo, and then we went back to talking. That's great.
Yeah, it's a great image. The light is just fabulous. Yeah. Good one. Now I think we're coming to the last image.
I'd like to know what they were talking about.
Well, you'll have to email him and asking. You didn't tell us that part. Okay, I think we got one more. There we go. So this image is by Whitney Defoe, who lives in Palo Alto, California. We did select this for the 27, and this is entitled Becoming Wheelchair Bound.
It's just a beautiful image.
Yeah, the light is just
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
it's a very emotional image.
It is very emotional. She has a whole series about this particular man. It's beautiful.
Wow. Okay.
And we got, that's the end of portraits, but you got one more slide to show.
I do?
Yeah.
What is it?
We'll click.
Oh,
Oh. So we're going to the Rockport Center for the Arts. It's having a spring art fair. We went last year and we're going again this year. And we're taking the work of me, Jamie Ladish, Kate Brakey,
me.
Tully, Rusty Yates, Tammy Bone. Who am I missing?
I think that's it.
No. There's somebody else there.
Well, I can't say.
Wendy Schneider.
Wendy.
How could I
How
forget
could you forget
Wendy?
Wendy?
My gosh.
She's gonna be mad.
I know, I'm in trouble. Anyway, it's March 10th, 11th, and 12th. And if you've never been to Rockport, which I don't mean Maine, I'm talking about Rockport, Texas, which is on the coast. Come on down and check out their new art center, which is simply amazing.
It is.
And check out all the art. There'll be some really good stuff there. We'd love to see you.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to us. And we hope you have a good evening or
And a
day.
wonderful spring.
Yeah, wonderful spring.
Thanks for all the support for the gallery.
Yes, thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.
Okay,
Adios.
thank you. Bye-bye. Did you end it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why didn't it say anything about the recording? Do I have to pause or stop it?
I don't think you've stopped it yet.
Oh. So they got that too.